everything. And so, wow, I was like, that was an incredible movie. But now
Yeah.
today we see that Jeffrey Epstein, was using this date, rape, drug, memory blank,
Yes.
type stuff. Have you seen stuff like that out there?
I haven't seen that personally on that level.
Yeah.
Aware of it, that it's going on like that. And the thing that takes me back to, I wonder how much people are believing this. They need to. Um, it's hard to get a lot of people to believe that it's going on in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, they're
Yes.
they're not their nice little neighborhood. Well, it's time. It's time to wake up and
I
understand
agree.
that this is really happening.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
So I mean, we've heard of, the crazy stuff where they do
yeah,
sacrifice and
yeah,
cannibalism and
yeah,
adrenochrome and all that kind of stuff. Have you
yeah.
seen anything like that?
I'll tell you. I had a construction worker contact me. I don't even remember how he got my name. Um, he was on the coast. He was at a house. He stepped out of that house to call me. Uh, no one was living in the house at the time. It was a very nice home, he said.
Hmm.
Cameras inside that house, too. He said there was a photo in there. He was not going to take a picture of it or anything like that. There was a
Smart.
photo in there uh, with Epstein and I guess the owner of that house.
Wow.
And there was a person, there was a child in between them, and there was a person holding a chicken with the head cut off and dripping the blood on that child. Uh, that's what he told me. I never saw the photo or anything like that.
Hmm.
So um,
Was
I
it
turned
a boy,
a girl.
girl?
Yeah,
Because I guess I don't know. I think the FBI stuff, where they have the child trafficking stuff. I think chicken is a
yeah. Oh yeah,
is a term for a little
yeah.
boy. Hmm.
That's right. Yeah. Um, so ended up turning that over to local authorities. I don't know what they ever did with it. Um, but all, I ever got.
Probably nothing. So,
Yeah.
and that's a problem
Yeah.
too,
We
isn't
had
it?
a,
Right? The police and FBI
yeah.
and whoever,
Yeah.
they're hesitant to get involved in some of these cases because they know it goes up to very high levels.
Yeah. You know, yeah, it gets kind of strange. That's still baffling to me. But evidently, that's truth. And Craig or Boz will say the same thing,
Really?
with them. Yeah. There are good officers out there that will do whatever they can to help. I know some of them, and
Good.
it's important.
Good.
It's important to have a good relationship with some officers that can be trusted. But yeah, it does appear that that there's corruption at some level in every department. Especially L.A. and Orange County. The areas. That's where Tina works a lot,
Hmm.
and it gets a lot. It gets a lot more bizarre there too when you have when the mainstream gangs are so prevalent and popular, but they're getting popular everywhere, even in uh, Asheville, North Carolina, Buncombe County. We have Latin Kings here because I've seen them, you know,
Oh wow.
and others, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and so there we have a cartel here. Um, I did have a one lady that gave me a name of a cartel member, and that's huge to get that. But it took developing a relationship with that contact. Oh gosh, for at least a year, maybe close to two. And if you're getting involved at the level where you want to be able to intervene, you got to be patient. You've got to develop relationships with these people. Um, I've been able to do that. I started getting to know the homeless community some by just getting out there in the street, on my own
Mhm.
time, especially during the winter time when it's going to get rougher for them. And be amazed what a number two combo meal from McDonald's or Cookout, will do,
Hmm.
and to open up conversation or that one question uh, have you had anything to eat today? And a lot of times that comes followed up by a tear.
Wow.
They do not want to be. None of them have, I've never met one that's volunteered to be on that street and be trafficked.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's heartbreaking to see them walk away. Can help, but they will, still walk away after sitting there and having a conversation with them. They're hurting, they're crying, desperate for help, but so afraid to leave, and
Mhm.
they've got to get back to work, kind of thing.
Wow.
That's the hardest thing for me, watching them walk away
I bet.
again,
Yeah.
because I know what their life is going to be like in the next 30 minutes. Will they even live through the night?
Jesus.
Um,
Mm.
and that's the reality of it. But I have come to know they've been very helpful, to me, and which has led to uh, being able to intervene a couple of times. And but we had one situation that so the pimp was dropping this girl off at the methadone clinic so she could get her, her fix, and so
Mhm.
he could maintain her. But he would drop her off and leave. He was also paying the mortgage on her mother's home, another way that he controlled her.
Wow.
And so we had set up a time to do a rescue. We apprehend her and we had a safe place for her to go that she would be able to stay for 2 years, and he would not be able to find her. And somehow he got tipped off. We have no clue how. It wasn't one of us, and it wasn't her. We don't know. The
Mm.
phone tapped or something. I had no clue. But she called and said, "Call it off." He didn't drop me off and leave. He's staying, and he ended up beating her really bad,
Mm.
and we had to back off. I never heard from her again. Was never able to speak with her again. We were that close, uh, but somehow, got tipped off. So
Mm.
in my case, what I try to do, developing relationships through the homeless community has been key for me as
Yeah.
well. But these events that are going on, like what Awaken Bold is doing, attend those. You just learn so much, but that always leads to, another call or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's amazing all the effort you're putting into this. We obviously need more people involved in that.
we
What
do.
do you
Yeah.
what do you think would happen if, like this audience, you'd have 10% of this audience, get involved? What do you think that would make a major impact?
Major impact. Yeah. And I want to emphasize too, major impact. What if it was just one child? What if
Yeah.
the 10% got involved and the 10% of this audience rescued one child, intervened in one child's life, path of healing, got them into a safe home, a safe family? Uh, you know, I believe it was Boz that said one time, we may not be able to change the world, but rescuing one child, intervening in that one child's life, their world has changed forever.
Sure. Yeah, like what you did. That was amazing.
Oh
And
yeah, man.
you're
Yeah, I would do it
continuing
all
to do
over
it.
again.
I mean,
Yeah.
how many people you think you've impacted over the last couple decades or so?
Oh gosh, I would think in 100 to 200.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, yeah, in some form or another. Yeah, because those relationships. Look, when you're sincere and you're passionate about what you're doing, that those relationships are forever. Listen, I had a boy that recruited. That he was from a gang, Folk Nation gang, that was out of the Raleigh Durham area. This was in the '90s, late '90s. Bill, he I got him to come to church, and it looked like he made a major conversion. And his name was Ray, and I mean he came from a rough. I mean his story was incredible, but he started to recruit kids, the younger kids in our youth ministry, and I caught on to that, and uh, so all of a sudden I didn't see him for a while, and there was one of our teenage girls that had run away from home, and so I got a tip that Ray was housing her, and they were going to be taking her to Atlanta, and they were going to sell her. And so I called, first of all, I called her parents, we called the police, and we made it to the last stop that Ray was making with her. And uh, we got out, the police cars, blocked the street.
Mm.
I got out of the car, and he was actually going to try to run over me, but he backed off of it. We kind of locked eyes, man. I was that close to his car, the front.
Mm.
And it was kind of like he looked at me like, gosh, I can't do this. Well, he puts it in reverse, man, and he goes full speed in reverse, but he was
Mm.
going in the direction of a dead end street. He didn't know it till he got to the dead end. And of course, the police chased him there to the dead end and got him out of the car. And he, Ray's brother had met us there too. And actually, Ray's brother was the one who gave us the tip. And so Ray gave me these gang signs. I didn't know what they meant, but his brother said he put a hit on me. He says, and that's serious. I want you to take that serious. And so I never heard back from Ray. We ended up getting the girl into a House of Hope in Clayton, North Carolina, where she did very well. She graduated from there. She's an adult. And I talk about these relationships lasting. I've heard from her. She's got children now. She's like she's early 40s now, like 40, 41 years old.
Yeah.
I hear from these kids all the time. They are adults now. I was involved in their lives when they were 13, 14, and 15 years old. I still hear from a lot of them, thankfully, through social media. So she did well. Well, I didn't hear from Ray or anything. Nothing ever happened. So I was out waxing my truck in my driveway, and his car pulls up, and Ray gets out of the car, and there were 3 other girls that were, in that youth ministry at the time. And I thought, well, this is odd, well, what's this going to be about? He was a big boy, man. And he comes up to me and he says, I'm not here for any trouble. And I was like, okay. And he said, I just want to, oh boy. This is how significant your involvement is. But he said, I just want to tell you how much I love you.
Wow.
He said, I want to thank you for saving my life. That's what he said to me. That's what he said to me, man.
Wow.
He didn't end up going to prison for that attempt that he had. Ray was repentant. And, man, excuse me. I hadn't told that story in a while, man.
Well, that's okay. We like the emotions on the good side.
Yeah. And so Ray went on to get married and have he had a son that's in the Atlanta area, actually a great football player too. And he would call me and say, hey man, I want you to come and go to church with us, come some weekend. And I told him I would. And I don't know what happened, but he ended up dying an overdose. He stayed clean for a long time, but he slipped. He overdosed on heroin. And that was about, I think that's probably 6 years ago, something like that. I don't know what happened. I've spoken to his brother, and his brother didn't go into a lot of detail. It was hard for him to talk about, as well. And, I had another boy that I took in, around the same time I took Jason in. They had actually grown up close together, were raised close together. They had grown up. And Chris, he decided he wanted to go back to his mother, who was an addict. And he ended up shooting himself up with, this will be some years later, but he shot up something that his mother had made up in a syringe, and it killed him, as well. And he was a victim. And man, I tell you, the abuse, the molestations that they endured they're just gross. They're just unspeakable. But that's how important, it is. And when I say that Jason never gave me a bit of trouble, I mean, not a bit. He just wanted to be loved. And so we just loved him, man, and he absorbed every bit of that. And he tried to return that with, performance and affection. I'm gonna do my best at everything, that's available to me. And I'll tell you this, man. One time I could tell he was tense, about something. Now we had to go through some changes. I mean, I kind of had to boot camp him a little bit, kind of strip his identity and let's rebuild, but he understood what we were doing. Didn't mean he liked it all the time. And so I'm looking at him, he was standing up, and I said, I can tell you, are very intense right now and not sure what's going on. And I believe that you've never seen a good outcome of this before, but I'm telling you, what's happened to you in your past before you got here is not going to happen to you here. We're okay, man. And I just said, how about a hug, buddy? So we hugged each other, man. We cried in each other's arms. I don't know how long. It seemed like forever. And man, he would follow me around everywhere after that, in the house and stuff. And one time I was getting ready to say, man, would you stop following me around, like that everywhere I go? And listen to this, man. I don't know how people feel about this, but I felt like God just spoke to me in my spirit and just said, don't you say a word. That's how you should be following me. And that's how you should be leading him. And so, I decided I'm committed to this boy until I can't be, and we're still tight as ever now, man.
Oh, that's beautiful. So he was kind of like your teacher, you learned from him. So
yes.
You've been able to use that a lot of people since, yeah.
Me, man, I'm the one.
Yeah, who mentored who? Yeah. That's the way it is sometimes. Yeah. So we've heard that President Trump is one of the biggest advocates for taking down child trafficking. He just recently passed a law for no fentanyl and all that. Very, very good stuff. So what are your thoughts on President Trump? Has he helped a lot?
He has. He also just passed an act. I'm trying to think of what the name of that is. My gosh, I can't think of the details of it right now, but yes, yeah, he is. In fact, in his first term, he committed $400 million, I believe it was, for survivors that once they go through their program, and everything, they're ready to get back on their own. That money would go through helping them purchase housing. And we still don't. And this is coming from a former CIA agent. I asked him, do we know what happened? Don't know what happened. But yeah, Trump was very, I'm trying to think of that. I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now.
Right.
Oh, okay, I know what it was. So, these victims, they get arrested and they end up with, arrest records on their, on their profile and their identities. And so he passed an act where when they leave that lifestyle, rescued out of that lifestyle, walk away or whatever, those records are erased. Yeah. That's never happened before. Those records would follow them around for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And they weren't, they're victims. They are not volunteering out there. They aren't making any money. They don't get a penny of that money. So that, yes, that particular act erases that criminal record.
Oh, fantastic.
Helps them get a new life start. Yes, he's supportive of it.
Yeah. Because, they made the victims the criminals sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. You just said it. I mean, that's exactly right. And what gets me too is it seems like so many people, the only thing they're worried about if Trump is on the list and if Trump is going to go to prison, that's all they care about. That's very shallow. And it's almost like being self-centered like that has become a norm and almost honorable, and it's not. Think about children. What's the most important, part of this is restoring victims. How many victims never made it out of any of that alive? A lot, I'd say. But there's a whole lot more to this than just, when hate drives you to think like that, man, that's a bad place to be.
Yeah. Now, I've had people on the show. They talk about how they're targeted individuals. and
Yeah.
they show, and I was like, "What? Are you like hallucinating some of this stuff?" But it was like totally real,
Yeah.
and millions, maybe even more, people just in the United States are targeted, and
Yeah.
targeted all the way up to agency level.
Right.
And they're watched and all they have people that follow them and get involved in the social media. I'm like looking at the chat. We got crazy people in the chat. We delete them out, but this is something I believe that's a big issue as well. Some of the
Yes,
people that
sir.
are involved in these organizations,
Yes,
uh,
sir. It is.
they target them and they
Yeah.
follow them. And they ruin
Yeah.
their lives.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Well, not directly, but I know of that. Yeah.
Very good. You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Which,
Yes, I'm aware of what you're talking about. Yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
So that sometimes happens with these programs where we're disclosing
Yeah.
something that's controlled at high levels, because we've seen the monarchy all the way back to Mountbatten, and even further back, involved in child trafficking and victimizing children and so forth. And of course, here in the United States, it's, like you're saying, it's worse than any place else in the world. So you have very high level people that try, shut people like us down and try to bring awareness to that. So how high have you
Jim
gone?
online too.
Yeah.
How high?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What's let's say Joe Biden. So Joe Biden, we saw Joe Biden basically, caressing and quite frankly, molesting children right in front of us.
Yeah.
Have you seen people at that level involvement, or what's the level that you've seen?
I've not witnessed that personally. Just, information, things shared.
Mm-hmm.
But have I seen someone at that level do that in front of me? I have not.
Mm-hmm.
But even that didn't seem to faze people. That's what's the desensitization of people is unreal to me. Of course, they just think that that's not a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is. And I mean, we had enough evidence on him. He should have just been locked up just for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But nothing at all. Barely anyone talk about it except for us. We're making collages of all these pictures, but no one still seems to care. That's part of what you're talking about. That's the problem. The desensitizing of this.
Yeah, and I don't. It's hard to explain. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around how people can become that. Just desensitized is the word I come up with that. It's just unreal, and that's media. That I think is responsible for that. They have an agenda, and it's working. When we see this kind of see this kind of hate against authority, to the point where thousands upon thousands, all they care about is President Trump going to prison over the Epstein files. That's what.
He's in the files because he was telling the police that Epstein was probably need to be looked at. So,
he's the one who called him in 2006. Sure did. Yeah. I mean, that's solid evidence, and of course they don't want to believe it.
Another one that does these shows like I do, Mel K. He worked at Mar-a-Lago, and there were a lot of women that were complaining about Jeffrey Epstein, sexualizing and stuff that he was doing. And Trump said, "Don't let him on the property ever again." So,
right.
And no one knows about that, hardly.
Yeah. Exactly. And they don't want to listen to that. And their hate blinds them to truth. And that's what's happening too. And that's what hate does.
Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating. So this awareness program that you guys are doing together, I don't know if we can get to it or not, but that looks pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Horseshoe Farm
Yeah.
in Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Yes. Yes, sir.
It looks fantastic.
It's a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's how many people can it hold?
I'm not exactly sure on that. I would have to ask the ladies about that one, Hera and Melissa and the other.
Very good. Yeah. So anyone
It's
that's
a pretty large venue. I want to say 400 for some reason.
oh, okay.
Maybe that's right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting more people involved in this, and this is how we do it. We attend these types of events and network, and start like you did, went through classes to get
Yeah.
more involved, and it just
Yeah.
opened doors for you to get more involved, and that's the way this works.
Yeah. Yeah. Just find something to do. Even if you just stop at passing out brochures, at community events and vendor shows, or whatever, helping people learn more about this. Share it. If you see it online, you see Craig Sawyer post something online, you see Boz post something online, hit the share button and forward that out to your contacts on social media. Use that for our power as well.
Fantastic. So Ray, this has been a great conversation. We got to have you back on to do maybe a deeper dive or go down some rabbit holes or whatever. That anything that you would like to come on and talk about, you just let us know. We're totally going to support you and anyone else in that lineup, because I've had many of them on my show that would like to come on and talk, maybe roundtable type stuff. That would be fun too.
Yeah, I could definitely point a couple of people to you. There's a Starfish Ministries that's out of Colorado, and this is a unique one. And the reason I bring him up, Sean Wheeler. Sean was a boy that was trafficked. A young boy. He's an adult man now, but he was trafficked as a young boy years ago. And so he has Starfish Ministry goes after the intervention of boys being trafficked. So he's focused solely on boys. And that's something that we need. I'd be glad to get his information to you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anything that you can do, and that's awesome. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to come out and talk about this. I've been doing this for 5 years now, getting people out, and people in the beginning were like, "No one's going to watch this. No one cares."
Right.
And we've been doing this for years. I was like, "My audience will care."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. All right, Ray. Well, like I said, great show, and look forward to maybe getting involved in this Wake and Bold. So we'll see. All right.
Yeah, I hope you can.
And I hope a lot of people show up. Hope it blow it up.
Yeah, amen. And thank you for your service too with the teams.
All right, sir. Have a great evening.
Okay, you say ciao.
Ciao.